It's been a while. Let's jump right back into it. So if you've ever seen any of my previous videos, I was probably a little bit all over the place. I do enjoy YouTube though, so I'm excited to get back into just sort of slowly get back into the flow of things. I want to talk a little bit about what I was achieving or trying to achieve in those last episodes and kind of catch you back up to where I'm at in life so that I feel that I could take on other topics. What you'll notice if you watched any of my videos from 3 years ago or more, I basically followed a color-coded matrix goal system. It basically means that I wanted to develop in a bunch of different dimensions or a bunch of different domains that aren't necessarily related to the same topic. I had my company for photography and videography. I was pursuing a master's degree, depending on what video you're watching, maybe a bachelor's degree. I basically expected a lot of myself, and I expected a lot of myself in a variety of different directions. So it's kind of like multi-domain personal development. When it comes to a YouTube video, it could probably seem a little bit scattered. It's kind of a breadcrumb in the trail that I could revisit one day and say, oh yeah, so that's what I was working on in 2023. Now we're in 2026. A lot of time has passed by, and I just, like I said, want to catch you back up again so that I can get on to some more exciting topics. This video is kind of for me, but thanks for checking it out if you are. The reason that I'm evolving the format is because these videos are not going to just be for me forever. Right now, this is for my own confidence to get back into the game, do what I want to do, express myself, and put something out there for other people. But it begins with just being honest for myself. And this version of being honest is, again, just continuing where I left off and saying what's gone down since. So hopefully it can be a light or an inspiration or a structure or a scaffold for somebody else who's going through their own chapter in life. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we get trapped in a chapter of life where a lot of the people around us want to hold us where we are, or we feel like they want to hold us where we are. We feel like it's difficult to grow. We feel like it's difficult to evolve. We feel like it's difficult to become bigger than the circumstances allow us to. We're caught in our hometown spiritually or physically, and we just feel held back by yesterday. So one of the solutions to this is having enough confidence in yourself to get really clear on something that you would like to achieve that then compels you to put an amount of energy and effort into it so that you can grow or learn more quickly than your hometown was providing an opportunity for. And that's basically what I have been doing. I was teaching myself videography and photography as well as learning it by serving my church. I was going to more schooling, which is crazy, right? But getting new degrees so that I could learn new skills, probably information technology, depending on when those videos were made. Basically, I've been making a commitment to transform. See, what you may or may not know is that my first job that really meant something to me was a personal trainer. And a personal trainer would work with a client, of course, to help them reach their goals, develop greater autonomy, to help them develop greater confidence and knowledge so that they could take their own skills and their own tools and transform their own life in cycles. Maybe the cycle is a 12-week program. Maybe the cycle is a 4-week program. I mean, certainly, ideally, you just keep working out forever because it's good for you. But it's also very helpful to have program periodization cycles so that you can stop and reflect on what worked before going back into another decisive program. I started applying this to other things outside of the gym. I like to call it sort of transformation beyond the barbell. You think about other opportunities where you could learn and grow over time by putting in effort, putting in action, and reflecting along the process. And so, anyway, that's basically what I did. And that's what I've been doing ever since. So what has changed since my last videos? Where am I at now? What's been going on? And why have I been so radio silent? If you've watched my last video, you would know that I was teaching for a while, got to know a wonderful community in North Carolina, got to serve at a nice community level for that year. And afterwards, I found some other cool jobs that took me in different directions in life. So the next job was demolition project manager. So I've always loved project management. When I discovered project management, it seemed to stack so naturally on top of the progression systems that I was aware of as a personal trainer that I saw a tremendous overlap. I continue to see change management as something that I'm called to. The idea that there are consequences to our actions makes total sense to me. And the idea that it splits further into complex specific systems and variables makes total sense to me. That's why today I'm a little bit interested in system engineering, but that's a whole nother story. So I started working as a demolition project manager for an awesome company in North Carolina. I worked in construction very briefly previous. My strong zone was not the demolition. I learned a lot about the demolition. My strong zone is in the change management and the productivity logic that threads through all of project management. I also have my PMP certification. I recommend it if you're into that. I worked that job for a while, and it was a great job. And eventually, I took on another job. And that job was to be a product manager for a medical and laboratory technology company. Amazing group of people. I got to learn a whole lot of technical product knowledge pertaining to a series of products that I knew nothing about at all. I got to teach people every day again, which was really nice. I got to be working with training, technical training, all sorts of things that brought out a different skill set in me, and I really did enjoy that process. Now, that's when something changed. Something changed the trajectory of my life and catapulted me in an entirely new direction. I put in my packet for officer training school for the United States Air Force, and they said yes. So I started training. I knew in my mind and I knew in my heart that I needed to prepare myself for this because I've always wanted to serve my country, and time goes by pretty quickly sometimes. I felt time speeding up a little bit. So I did end up going to officer training school at the end of 2025. You can't do no YouTube videos in officer training school. If anybody did, then good for you, but no, I had other things on my mind. And ultimately, great news, I graduated officer training school. I also was the wing commander, which was a tremendous honor and stressor, but all of these things helped grow me to the person that I am today, and I'm always grateful for that. That's why I actually love pressure. I love a challenge. I do tend to run looking for it, and I've been, as you could tell, if you look back at my videos, I've always looked for it. Even if I put it on myself, I'm always looking for the pressure that's going to make me grow. My new life now is as a lieutenant of the United States Air Force, the greatest job I've ever had. I feel proud. I feel happy every single day. And so there's some projects that I'm working on right now that I'm very excited about. I want to talk to you about them a little bit before I close this video down. I don't need it to be super long like my last ones. I just kind of want to get my feet wet and jump back in the game here a little bit. One project that I am exceptionally excited for is that I hope to publish my first book this year. I've actually been working on this book for almost 10 years, believe it or not. And it's just, writing a book is such a big project that it's kind of easy to put it back on the back burner and go and do other things. But I think I'm doing a disservice by not publishing it. It's a book I'd like to explain and talk about at greater length in another video, because otherwise I will not have this. This will not be a short and punchy video if I begin doing so today. But one of the biggest things that I'm really passionate about right now is I really do want to publish my book this year. Another thing that I'm really excited about is that I have been performing with a band again. What you might not know is that I definitely love to sing, and I definitely love my heavy metal. So met a great group of guys up here. Super excited about what's coming up next. Hopefully we get some shows together for the summertime. We've had a few things that have we've had a few things pop up, but at the same time, I'm grateful to have met these guys so quickly in my new duty station, and I've got a lot of excitement about where the project can go. I'm also back to doing improv comedy. You gotta love that. I think I've always loved comedy. I've done a bit of stand-up comedy. I've done lots of improv comedy. Very grateful to have that creative outlet. In fact, I'm gonna be doing that in about 2 hours. And ultimately, I love my life in the military. It feels like everything that I've been doing throughout my entire life has been preparing for this moment. I didn't always know it, but everything has been preparing me for this moment. So if there's a sort of moral to the story, in my opinion, the moral to the story is that even if you feel stuck in life right now, whether that's stuck in your hometown, whether that's stuck in a certain situation that you don't really care for financially or in a relationship or something like that, prepare today for the future that you would like. Begin doing the work now that can give you the skills that will allow you to bridge yourself to better potential opportunities in your future. It's so easy to get beaten down by the moments of life. It's so easy to get torn away from your ambitions and to just stop dreaming or to start sort of giving up on the process and find yourself and feel like all of your movements are really heavy. If you can muster up the courage to invest in yourself and invest in your learning and have faith, even when things are rough, I pray to God that things continue to get better for you. And I pray to God that it will all make sense one day. When you look back at all of those moments and all of those decisions that you made when things seemed dark, I pray that you find so much light and so much brightness and such an incredible exit strategy that you just find yourself continuously advancing to higher mountains than you can even imagine. I pray that for you, and I sincerely hope that something here resonates with you, and that it ends up meaning something to you in your journey, because there's been plenty of times where things have felt totally hopeless. I wake up every single day and I'm thrilled with the privilege of serving my country in the military. I've always known that I needed to do it, and now I'm actually living the dream. So everything happens on God's timing, and I hope that you will have enough faith in Him and enough faith in yourself to keep moving forward on your process, even if it feels like things are bleak. Or sometimes even if it feels like things are just boring and mundane. Bleak is like, oh, things are horrible, things are so bad. But a lot of times that's not really what beats us down in life. A lot of times we just get beaten down by like boring and normal, and we feel like it's difficult to keep our mind where it matters because there's so many distractions that just take your head out of the game. I hope you'll have faith in yourself and invest in yourself and your own growth, and that your environment shifts around the life that you'd like to live. I'll be perfectly honest with you, even though I've shared some stuff from the heart and I hope that it resonates with you, this first video is kind of for me. This video gives me the chance to kind of jump on in here, get my confidence back, share a little bit with you, and emerge out of the darkness, basically. So eventually, I look forward to making videos that meet you where you're at, rather than me just kind of rattling off about what these last few years have been like. But it feels funny to have vlog attempts trail off into nothing. So this is where I've been. This is where we're going. And if you like it, then stick around, because it's only going to get better from here on out. If you check this video out, thank you for checking it out. Subscribe and all that stuff if you want to subscribe. I'm just happy to be on a journey of common growth with you.